Good morning, beloveds. Yeah, I'm always fussing with that camera angle. All right. It is July 21st. Our title is I Give Freely. The Bible quote is, "Give, and it shall be given unto you, good measure, pressed down and shaken together and running over." And that is Luke 6:38. We all wish to receive, but how many of us desire to give? If, as Jesus intimated, receiving is the other end of giving, then the more we give, the more we shall receive. Who loses his life shall find it. We should give the best that we have to each other and to the world. This gift of life is made without effort. It is complete abandonment of the self to life, a conscious letting go of all the tight strings of our being, a loosening of the divine gifts within us. Only when we have learned to give all shall we be in a position to receive all. God prepares a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. My cup runneth over. Realizing that the table of the Lord is ever spread with the bounty of eternal givingness, and knowing that my inner shepherd attends my every need, I realize that my cup of joy runs over with the gifts of life. Unhesitatingly, I give to others. I share my kingdom with all. Today, I give myself unstintingly to life. I unloose the well springs of my being and make a complete deliverance of the self to life. This I do with joy, withholding nothing. I shall not do this with any hope of reward, but in the glad joy for the opportunity to increase my own livingness. Everything that I have belongs to the world. Giving, I shall receive the world back into my own consciousness. Okay. Yeah. I don't know what. I got nothing to say, so I'm just going to go back through it. It happens occasionally. Like, I have no thoughts. I give freely. Now, interestingly enough, with the Bible quote, I've never heard the whole quote. I've heard, "Give, and it shall be given unto you." The rest of it, I've never heard that before. "Give, and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down and shaken together and running over." So that's Luke 6:38. I'm a little dyslexic. We all wish to receive, but how many of us desire to give? And that's an interesting phrase. I think that there are a whole lot of us, especially in this teaching, who really do like to give. In fact, we have to be talked into receiving. So, I'm not sure who he was talking to here. Because one of the things that I've heard Reverend Jesse say on a number of occasions is that because we all want to give so much, that occasionally we have to remember that being a receiver, receiving what somebody else has to give, is a gift to that person. We are still giving by receiving. So, our target audience here. If, as Jesus intimated, receiving is the other end of giving, then the more we give, the more we shall receive. Whatever it is that you want is what more of in your life is what you give away. And they say that with love. If you want love in your life, then give love away. If you want friends in your life, then be friendly, And that's kind of what this is talking about. So, like, whatever it is that you want in your life, give that away, and more of it will come back to you. We talk about the threefold rule. What you send out, you get back 3 times. That's the same thing here. It's like whatever you're putting out into the world, that's what you're going to get back. So if you look around and see what's coming back to you, then you can question yourself going, well, what am I giving out to get this back? Or you may be thrilled. What am I giving out to get this back? Yay! Because I want to do more of that. It cuts both ways. So, open quotes, who loses his life shall find it, close quotes. We should give the best we have to each other and to the world. I mean, that's kind of the original Bible story with Cain and Abel. It's like, give the best that you have, because you will get it back in full measure. They always talk about that as an employee. It's like, when you give the absolute best you have to the job that you're doing, then you will be rewarded. If you're working for a good company, that's I'll leave that there. But it is the experience that I have. If I give 110 at my job, then, the people that I work for recognize that, and then they give me what I need to continue to give that 110. This gift of life is made without effort. It is complete abandonment of the self to life, a conscious letting go of all of the tight strings of our being, a loosening of the divine gifts within us. Okay, now that touches a different string. A complete abandonment to life. There aren't a whole lot of us that are willing to do that. A complete abandonment to life. The willingness to jump into the flow of life and see where it takes you. Too many of us want to hold on to that dock, want to hold on to that rope, want to hold on to, because we're scared. And I get that. And so what we have to do is the little abandonments. We have to find those situations where we're willing to let go of the dock and let the flow of life around us. And as we get more confident of the results that we are getting when we jump into the flow of life, it will get easier. Do I want to let go of the dock 100% of the time? No, but it's gotten easier. That's one of the things with my mouth when I do stuff like this. I completely abandon what's going to come out of my mouth to life. And then I hope that what comes out of my mouth is what somebody needs to hear, including sometimes I'm simply talking to myself. And I get that, because the other day I was definitely talking to myself. So the loosening of the divine gifts. It's like we came into this world with gifts, and then we keep such a tight hold on them. Because it's not, a lot of times when we talk about giving, everybody thinks money. And money is very important. Trust me. But that's not everything. That's not everything. Sometimes it's about our presence. Sometimes it's about our words. Sometimes it's about showing up. Sometimes it's just about being there. And trusting that what needs to happen will happen if we show up. Complete abandonment to life. Terrifying prospect, but it's also that awesome full of awe prospect. Only when we have learned to give all shall we be in a position to receive all. Because in those situations, when we can completely abandon ourselves to life, nature settings are a good example of that. If you've been tubing or, being carried along in a river or canoeing or anything like that, and you abandon yourself to that experience, and it's amazing. Can you do that in every aspect of your life? And if not, that's something to work on. Because that's what I'm talking about, that feeling. I've been canoeing, I've been tubing, and it is a complete abandonment. The river's going to take you. I mean, you know where you're going, because the river's going, you know where you get in, you know where you get out. And that's kind of the way it is with life. You know where you're getting into the river, you know where you're getting out. It's what happens in between that can be really amazing if you're willing to let it. Okay, God, open quotes, prepares the table before me in the presence of mine enemies. ... My cup runneth over, close quotes. sorry, the dot 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 is where where he left part of that quote out. Realizing that the table of the Lord is ever spread with the bounty of eternal givingness. Okay, so the table of the Lord, life is spread with an eternal givingness of experiences. Life is spread with an eternal givingness of experience. We can have this wide variety of experiences if we are willing. And knowing that my inner shepherd attends to my every need, which means I can have all of these experiences and know that I'm still I'm being taken care of. I'm being protected. In the end, it's going to all work out. I realize that my cup of joys runs over with the gifts of life. All right? My cup of joy. We talk about our cup of acceptance. And so now he's throwing a monkey wrench in by going, your cup of joys. Because if you're not getting out and having those experiences, what are you doing? And you can have experiences in your house too, but you know what I mean. You can, by learning something new, like taking up a new art or doing something, so you don't have to go running out and having nature experiences or city experiences or whatever, taking up something new. Your cup of joys run over. Unhesitantly, I give to others. I share my kingdom with all. One of the things that I missed over the last year and a half are the runs, the 5Ks, the organized 5Ks, where I would go and run with 3,000 of my new best friends, because we were having this amazing shared experience, and each person being there contributed to the experience. Even if, we didn't know each other, we didn't have to talk to each other, we just showed up and had this collective experience. And it was a cup of joy, and it was hard, and, and sometimes they were hot and sometimes they were cold, but being there, doing what we loved together in that shared experience, we were sharing our kingdom with each other. And there's so many amazing opportunities to share our kingdom, and we don't even have to do it with words. All we got to do is show up. What we got to do is show up, be our authentic self, and give unstintingly of who we are. Today, I give myself unstintingly to life. I unloose the wellspring of my being and make a complete deliverance of the self to life. I'm gonna live. And I'm going to go out and walk into the stream of life and see where it takes me. And see all of the children of God that come across my path today and tomorrow and the day after. And have those experiences. I do this with joy, withholding nothing. I shall not do this with any hope of reward, but in the glad joy of the opportunity to increase my own livingness, because that is the reward. That is the reward. The livingness. Because I have gone out and I have had an experience, and I have interacted with people, or I have stayed in and had an experience by learning something new, by practicing something that brings me joy, even if I'm really bad at it. I can't draw a straight line with a ruler. So, even if I'm really bad at it, I still do it occasionally. Everything that I have belongs to the world. Everything that I have belongs to the world. Because we all came from the same source. We're all going back to the same source. We're literally all made of the same stuff. Everything that I am belongs to the world. Giving, I shall receive the world back into my own consciousness. So if everything that I am belongs to the world, then that means that the world belongs to me. Everything you are belongs to the world belongs to you. All right, our mission, should we choose to accept it today? I'm going back to the first one. The first paragraph, I'm going for the terrifying one. Our mission, should we choose to accept it, is the complete abandonment of the self to life. Go and live. Go and do. Go and practice. Go and do the things that increase your joy. Go and let that cup of joys runneth over. That's the mission. That is the mission. Give yourself freely to life and see what comes back. See what comes back. And while you are doing that, please do something loving for yourself. Do something kind for yourself. Do something compassionate for yourself. Whatever that looks like today. There are a whole lot of things that we do for our own peace of mind and our own joy that we do not have to share with anybody. So if you practice an art and you don't want to, you want to show it, great. And if you don't want to, then do it. Because trust me, when I draw, I'm not going to show that to anybody. So, but I've got other things, because, if you have seen me on any of the social medias, you know how much I love to take pictures. Those I'll share. Those I'll share with absolutely everybody. But please remember that you are a beloved child of God in whom God is well pleased, always and forever. You deserve your own loving, kind compassion. And the more you practice on yourself, the more you have to share with the world. All right, beloveds. It's Wednesday. That means we have a soul session. It's the third Wednesday of the month. So that's what I finally figured out. The soul sessions are the third Wednesday of the month. And this one's really exciting because we have 4 members of our center who are former military. Ironically, 3 of them are Navy and 1 of them's Army. But they are going to have a conversation with Jesse about serving the military, their spirituality, what have you. That will be really cool. So if you catch us, that'll be at 7 o'clock on Facebook Live. Reverend David will be on Facebook Live just before that, at somewhere around 5. And then if you don't catch the soul session, 1, we'll leave it posted, and 2, I'll move it to YouTube as well. So please check that out. I have gotten my face full of sun, and I just read an article, or reading an article on Brain, and they talk about that early morning light resets those hormones, resets those chemicals. It will improve your energy for the day, and it will help you sleep better at night. So I do encourage you, go get a face full of sun first thing in the morning. 5, 10, 15 minutes at the most. It will do you a world of good. Please drink plenty of water. It is hot out there, and it's about to get hotter. But it's July. So what I am asking you to do is take care of yourself. Please take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, but take care of yourself. And take care of yourself because you are loved. And while you're doing that, open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you you do live in heaven now. It's all around you. It's all around you. It just takes being willing to look for the beauty, even when it doesn't look like there's any there. Because sometimes the most beautiful thing around is you. All right, beloveds, I'm going to move into the process of my day because it's Wellness Wednesday and I got to get this going. Do what you need to do to make it a fantastic day, a wonderful day, a great day. Or if that's too much pressure, have a day. Know that you're loved. And I will see you at 9 a.m. tomorrow. But I will also be on this whole session briefly in the very beginning. So please check that out. Please check that out. And you can always catch me on the Running Rev Ryan YouTube channel anytime. All right, beloveds, have a wonderful day.